Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the AGL Dokkan Fest Kale in the Red Zone Broly event. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to do this one because obviously Kale is, I mean, I guess if you want to be super reductive of her character, right, Kale is basically the female Broly, right? You know, her design aesthetically, it's very clearly based on the legendary Super Saiyan form. I think a lot of people, like I say, do write off her character because she is, quote-unquote, the female Broly. It'd be interesting to know why they decided to do that with her character. Like, obviously, characters who are sort of shy and then have this explosive outburst of rage and power is not something new to Dragon Ball or any anime, really. But I think just the fact that even, like, aesthetically, she looks like the legendary Super Saiyan form, even funnily enough, when she transforms in the Tournament of Power and is fighting Goku, she keeps saying his name over and over again, which that has to be some kind of like in-joke, right? Like some an actual literal reference to Broly. But, you know, I thought it'd be fun to do them against each other in this event. It seems like we have started off with both the Universe 6 units that I brought on the same rotation on the second turn. So unfortunately, that means we are going to see the Kale that was on this turn not performing to her full potential because we don't have a Universe 6 ally for her. But we should be looking good. I mean, this turn, she's obviously going to be looking pretty good. This doesn't really help us, though, considering the fact that the Tech Kale and Caulifla is kind of hoping that they would at least get a super attack in nice and early, because I feel like they can work quite well as her, not only her Universe 6 ally, but also the unit on the team whose name includes Caulifla in this event, because of course they stack up defense, they get ideally a few opportunities to do that, and then of course you have type advantage over Broly in the final phase. But we'll see how it plans out, because obviously Kale's going to finish him off here. The friend one that I brought, I believe, has 2 dupes. Mine is still 55%. I obviously did my summon stream. I won't be going back in on her banner at all. So the friend is fairly low link level. So mine, whilst only being 55%, is at mostly like 7, 8s and 9s now. So pretty decent link levels for her. Oh, this is perfect, actually. We can grab those for you. That drops down all the blues. And then full 24 key for you. Put us back up to full HP. And then Piccolo, pretty nice build up so far. So he's able to do some pretty solid damage. He's on transformation boost. So he's on the 170 lead for Kale. I wanted to try her out on a separate 200% team, because she's on God Goku's team and she's on Kid Goku's team. The problem is you obviously have to run a Universe 6 ally. And when it comes to units like, even for example, the Tech Kale and Caulifla that we brought on this team, because those units are a bit weaker and could potentially be a liability, I didn't want to run them under a 170 lead, which is what they would get from like God Goku, right? Because he leads Pure Saiyans, but then like Tech Kale and Caulifla aren't on Exploding Rage or Power of Wishes, so they're only getting the 170 leader skill. Ooh, Kale didn't guard. Fortunately, we didn't get supered, but I mean, that's a good indication, though, I suppose, even without a Universe 6 ally. I mean, the second phase of Broly is not exactly that hard, but AGL units will take damage from him, right? So Kale, without a Universe 6 ally to get her stat buff and without guarding, took double-digit damage from his normal attacks, so that is good. And then obviously Gohan does have guard. And yeah, just takes double digits throughout the turn. So the good thing, of course, now we can transform straight away here. And because we have the Universe 6 ally, we have guard. So let's go ahead and do that. And then, again, though, this is the problem that you're going to find with some of these units and some of these teams sometimes, is we're probably not going to get an opportunity for Tech Kale and Caulifla to attack again. Because I guess this is this my Kale? Because she's probably not going to be very likely to crit, but I mean, he doesn't have a lot of HP left, so. And of course, on this turn, where we would ideally like Tech Kale and Caulifla to get a super, we're going to get the additionals from the passive that could be just normal attacks, convert into supers, and then of course one of them is a crit. So, well, it'll be interesting to see how this pans out then, if this is the case, but alright, so I guess we do this now. We want to keep these two together so that we have the Universe 6 ally. We'll go ahead and transform this Kale. Now, the problem is, when it comes to the BROLY event, and this is still true of a lot of units, even very good teams, like, the Int Kale has 126k defense. So, basically, if I don't use an item here, and he does the AoE super, then we die, right? Especially if he does it in slot 1, before Kale's had a chance to attack and actually get some extra defense. So that is certainly a little bit unfortunate. I've mentioned it many times before in the past, right, in videos when we're doing the BROLY event, but it's one of the reasons why I always considered BROLY to still be harder than the Metal Cooler Core, is because he has the AoE and you can't dodge, right? So it's not like you can bring units who, you know, usually you don't want them taking hits, but then if the AoE goes off, at least they have a chance to dodge, because they just can't. So even on, like I say, good teams, there are rotations against this STR BROLY phase where if you don't have an item active, you will just die if he does the super attack. Especially if he does it in slot 1, because obviously any units that need to attack first to get their defense are not able to do so. So yeah, this stage definitely still one of the harder ones for the OG red zones. Of course, he didn't super on the turn where I used the item as well, so very typical. I guess now, though, at least, because we do have an item active, we can kind of get away with doing this, which means we do at least get to do an attack here. Kale has all of her links active, so as you can see, like I say, mine is mostly 7s and 8s. There's 1 6 and 1 9 in there. Well, there's 2 9s, actually. And she is at, after the buff, 470k. Because remember, she gets the buff when she gets hit for the first time, but she gets it for 3 turns, so she's still got it active from the turn before. So 470k defense and guard at 55%, I would say, is definitely pretty good. And then, yeah, Tech Kale and Khalifa are going to be able to get a super here. This is their first super of the event, and this is, what, turn 6? Or is it? Actually, wait, did they get to attack last time? Wait, yeah, if this is turn 6, they did get to attack last time. But, yeah, so not exactly the quickest build-up for them, but at least they are going to have type advantage over AGL BROLY. They got to super before he did this, so with the Whis, they should take double-digit damage. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, we'll see how the rest of this plays out then. We should finish him off this turn, though, because we are attacking with 2 decently hard-hitting AGL units here. And Kale only getting the normals, and then, yeah, Gohan's just going to come in and finish him off. Interesting. So next turn, it means we are going to have the AGL Kale and the Int Super Saiyan 2 Kale together. But we don't have a huge amount of HP. And of course, we floated off Piccolo. We won't get the support from Vegeta unless he gets hit first, but I definitely want to see what Kale... So she's at 573k on this turn. This one is 90%. So let's go for this. And then we can do this. I mean, I'm going to... See, Kale getting all those hits in there is so bad. I think even with a Whis active, does she die to a super? She might do. Let's do this. Again, like did I say at the beginning? Like, I don't want to sound like a broken record with all of these Kale videos, but she's just hurt so badly by how mid, or like almost all of the Universe 6 options are to run on her team with her. Because like, I don't really want to bring that Int Kale into this event. But it's like, who else can I really bring? There's the Tech Khalifa, who can't dodge. So even though she does stack up defense and then has type disadvantage in the final phase, if she was to get hit with a super in like any of the first 3 phases without an item active, she's going to be toast. So we don't really want to do that. Then of course we have like the STR Kale, who gets guard, but she has to be with a Khalifa as well, so it just kind of exacerbates the same problem that the AGL Kale has. There's the Tech Easy A free to play Kabe, but again, like before you get to the final phase, like he's getting, you know, destroyed even by Tech BROLY, so it's certainly very awkward. Now we can go ahead and get the fusion here, so let's go ahead and do that. It's been a while since I've used the Tech Kefla, so we get the heal. Do I need to pick up a certain amount of orbs? We get 60% attack if we get 6 orbs. Okay, so she's not entirely reliant on it, otherwise she does nothing, which is good. So actually I could do this. Get 6 orbs for you, so you can get some extra attack. And then Piccolo. Oh, sadly, the key not quite working out how we would like for Piccolo, but that's okay. And let's see what we have got here. I think it's just a problem, I guess, when you're trying to showcase like units in certain events. It would be nice to see Kale tanking, like, she'll obviously tank hits from BROLY for double digits for normals, but when it comes to like the super, this is why I think her team lets her down the most, right? Because I would love to see how much damage Kale would take from a super now after getting these attacks off, but without a Whis active. But the problem is, it's like if you don't activate a Whis and then he super attacks Tech Kefla, then we probably die, right? Even though she has type advantage, he does hit incredibly hard. Tech Kefla is quite an old unit now. But I mean, AGL Kale having guard and having so much defense after she gets her super attacks off is pretty good. And I mean, Tech Kefla, 8.4 million attack, right? So no slouch when it comes to the offensive side of her abilities, I suppose. Additional as well. So I mean, we're going to do a lot of damage to BROLY this turn. But it's just kind of baffling why they really didn't release more help for this Kale at the time, because the STR, Kale, and Tech Caulifla are getting their easy A's on JP now, which is only what, like a few months behind when she released on JP. Like, would it really have like messed up the game, like the power scaling or the power cliffing, or whatever you want to call it, power creep, if they just released the STR, Kale, and Tech Caulifla easy A's when Kale came out? I feel like that wouldn't have exactly made a huge impact on the meta landscape of the game, right? And it would have helped her team significantly if that was the case. So honestly, kind of baffling to me why they didn't do that, but I guess it is what it is. I guess in terms of survivability, we probably just want to do this. Although it's still very likely that Gohan could die here, maybe, if he gets supered in slot 1. I mean, he's got his guard, and he's got a decent amount of defense now, especially with getting the super. I won't hit the Dokkan mode here, just so we can see how much damage Kale can do. Because obviously now we have no item active, so I do want to see, if possible, if we can see Kale take some hits. Although, of course, it's very possible, because, yeah, Gohan's going to get an additional as well. It's very possible that she just does a bunch of additional supers and kills BROLY anyway. So that's why definitely for this turn, playing it this way is the smartest way to play the rotation, because we get Kale floated off this free-to-play one. But yeah, I think now that Gohan went ahead and triple supered, I think we are probably going to finish him off here. Yeah, 8.26. I mean, she's definitely, like I say, her offensive potential is incredibly good. Like, I genuinely am impressed with how good this Kale unit is. She just gets dragged down by the restrictions in order to make her good. So I'm very much looking forward to the LR Kale and Caulifla EZA in a few days' time, because then we can start running her on some other teams where she just needs the one ally to be on rotation with her, and we can bring the LR Kale and Caulifla. I mean, even on a team build like this, right? Bring the Tech Kale and Caulifla, and then we bring the LR as the other Universe 6 unit, right? So definitely looking forward to seeing how that pans out. But Kale, very solid unit, decently well against BROLY. I think it's just one of those things. I know a lot of people don't like it when use items in showcases, but when it comes to BROLY, like I said, even some good teams, right? You just get AoE'd by him and it's all over. So I mean, I guess if you're trying to beat this stage because you want to do certain missions, like the beat in 7 turns, or beat it with a super team with one of each color typing and stuff like that, you're going to be using items. You're going to be using, like, the Universe Survival Saga support memory here to give her and the other Universe 6 girls on the team a buff. So it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think about Kale down below in the comment section. What do you think about her character? Is she just the female BROLY to you? Do you find her character interesting? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.